We were to have a speaker by then. I'm not going to mention his name. But the young man that would have been here this morning is feeling very ill. He was unable to attend. This young man is 21 years old. Between his junior and senior year, he went from opiates to heroin. And it was a mistake. It was something he didn't realize. He didn't know he was actually snorting heroin. I have been researching heroin in this community for 2 years, and he is the first heroin addict I have found that has a year and a half of sobriety behind it, without the methadone, without the Suboxone. And I was very proud of this young man and played basketball. He had it all, and in an instant it was gone because he was lied to, but he had put himself in that position to be lied to. So this morning, I thought with kids your age, I am a youth leader, and I thought, wow, I'm too old. And the drug use that I endured, I felt was not near what the heroin is. Mine started a little later in life. I was 24, lost custody of my daughter who was 5, and I wanted to drown myself. I wanted to feel nothing because it was such a painful time in my life. I felt like I was dead. I couldn't figure out why I lost my daughter. I was a working mother, angry temper. I was a very angry individual. So I started drinking as soon as I lost her. I had a friend who saw that I was drinking from sun until I passed out in the evening, and he wanted to help me. So he introduced me to marijuana. And I was like, wow. Yeah, I could drink it. Amen, right? Well, it didn't stop there, because I still had a job to do. I was working, I was area manager for a company, very successful, but when I would wake and smoke in the morning, I absolutely had no energy. All I wanted to do was sit, eat, and veg. So I then started into the opiate cycle. I found that if I would take a vitamin or an oxy or any kind of opiate, speed, whatever I could get my hands on, I could wake up in the morning and have my coffee and a joint and pop a pill, get my shower, go to work, and I did this for years. I did it. It cost me about 10 years of my life. In the middle of all that mess, I had another child with the man that got me off the alcohol that started me with marijuana. I checked myself into rehab in 2004. While I was in rehab, I lost another daughter. The man I had her with actually filed for emergency custody, and he gained it. He got me on abandonment charges. And the beauty of that, too, I paid for that. He withdrew the money from my account while I was in rehab to gain emergency custody of our daughter. And he still has physical custody of her today. 3 years ago, I did get my oldest daughter back. It was not under good circumstances. There was abuse, severe abuse. Here I am, an addict, still battling addiction, not ever completely getting away from it. And I get my daughter back. And I'm like, wow, something's got to change. That change didn't come from mental health care facilities. I do applaud Centerstone just from the fact that, like I said, Don Becker told me I was an addict. I was a prescription addict. I knew what to say to get what I wanted. If I wasn't smoking pot, I was heavily medicated, and I got it prescribed to me. And it was easy. I was a good talker. I was a salesperson. I went to Centerstone, and I wasn't able to snowball then, so I put down the minivan. I have been on the road to recovery for 3 years. I have turned my life around. I started in January 2010. I started a support group for parents with children who were addicts. I take children, but these children were in their 20s. And the first meeting I held at my church had 42 parents there. And the drug I heard of was heroin. I didn't even know how people used heroin. I didn't know what it looked like. I didn't know what it did. Thank God I never found it when I was using, because I probably would have really liked it. I would have been that person that lost her life due to that drug because I didn't know when to stop. So after a lot of self-searching, a lot of therapy, a lot of healing, here I am today in front of all of you. And I got, out of all of this, we have started a ministry in North County, Broken Road Ministries. We are catering to youth because your generation will be the generation to end this if you so choose. I have worked with over 25 heroin addicts in this community. I have heard horror stories of people being dumped in ditches with a needle hanging out of their arm by their friends because they've OD'd, and the people that they've OD'd with were also high and were scared to death of getting in trouble. These kids were not from the affluent, they were from affluent families in this community. It wasn't just the broken home kids. It wasn't just the troubled kids. We have kids with names, and I hear about them being dumped like dogs on the side of the road. And it still happens today. One thing I do want to stress, I've heard two medical professionals tell you, if somebody ODs and you're with them, call somebody, give them some help. If they stop breathing, give them some help. If you're not going to get them for some help, please, for the love of God, do not leave them on their backs. There was a young man, 19 years old, in Portland just 2 months ago, who was left on his back. He would have made it, but he choked to death when he came to. 19. That's sad, that's sick, and there's no reason for that to happen. Other than when we're using, we're not in our right frame of mind, and the only thing we can think about is self. I did take this on because I do have kids in this community. And I am amazed and very pleased with the adults that are stepping forward now to help you guys. There is a lot of help out there. People that you can talk to. I tried, for me to get into addiction, it was to bury myself, to hide something that I wasn't ready yet to deal with. And it took 10 years. That's ridiculous. Nobody deserves to live 10 years of their life. But I do thank God for every single moment, because I wouldn't be here today. And I don't know that I would have recognized the problem as bad as it is in this community had I not been where I was at. I do have a 19-year-old son who is an addict. I had him when I was 16 years old. And part of his addiction, I have myself to blame. I always said I was never a thief when I used. Did I break into homes? No. Did I rob my mother? No. I stole something I can't ever get back. And I stole a very good mother from my kids. A very good mother. The girls had me known. My son didn't know. I was not there for him. My prayers go out for him every day. I can't change him. I can't enable him. When he went to jail, he didn't call Mom, because I won't get him. I love him enough to let him fail. With that said, when this first came out, I met a woman. A woman called me when she seen the article run in the paper about the drug awareness combo that we would be holding in Winchester. She told me a story, and I cried. I just couldn't quit crying. She's a parent. She's been on the enabling side. She didn't understand drug addiction. She didn't understand the severity of what she was doing by helping her son over and over again. She's from your community. Her kids were raised in your community, and a lot of you will know who she is and who her kids are. I'd like to introduce Sharon Price.